Okay, quick update on uranium here. It's August 27th, so we have a full weekly candle here. And we know we had the huge news from Japan, which caused this big candle. This is CCJ. And then we made a new high the next day, but then pulled back pretty hard. And then, of course, Friday, very bearish day for the market as a whole. And definitely take a look at the description, links in the description for broader market update. That's obviously going to dominate things. That said, the broader market made new lows on the weekly chart. This didn't even get anywhere close to that. Here, we're actually consolidating at the upper end of the range, as it were, day 4 of a new daily cycle. That said, it could easily be pulled bearish because of the broader market. And again, this is your weekly candle, just kind of really engulfing all of this price action here. And so really what we're seeing here is consolidation, right? Like nothing really, a lot of nothing. And again, this is your key line here, that 28 level. We kind of tested it, then pulled back, right? This is your monthly chart. And now at this point, it's a question of, can we get above 28 comfortably, back test it from above? That would give us an indication that we're now going to make a new high above, the high from, what is that, April, right, at 32.49, and possibly on our way to all-time highs, above $60 basically. So that's what we're really watching for. And if you look at the collection of uranium names, they all did a similar thing on the daily. Some more bearish than others, to be honest. I mean, Govix probably on the more bearish side, right? Like NextGen didn't look as great. So definitely important levels to be watched here. And I talked about that, right? Like we had this massive gap up. Again, we're looking at all these different names. These are daily charts. Fission never actually gapped up. We talked about that. That was important. And so these gaps usually get filled. And so that's probably what's going to happen next, right? Now, sometimes it takes like weeks, maybe even months for a gap to fill. Other times it actually happens relatively quickly. And this is a great example. Like for Govix, we've already closed, like at least like halfway through the gap, And you look at other sort of similar names, right? Like if we look at, right, like UEC. So, we haven't even entered the gap for UEC yet, right? So that's what we want to watch for, a healthy little gap close and then, move up. But again, we need to watch the broader market because that's going to be highly correlated with whatever happens with the broader market is going to really dictate, or at the very least, highly influence what happens here. And again, these are your weekly charts. The bullish outside weekly candle is still preserved, right? And so next week we're going to open as a inside week, but still closer to the upper end of the range than the lower end. I mean, with all this upper wick for most of these, it's not amazing. But like for CCJ, for instance, this is definitely upper end of the range. I'll zoom in here, where you would expect the next weekly candle to sort of open. So definitely, I'd say a holding pattern, right? At best, at worst, what you're probably going to see is a bearish daily cycle. Again, we're on day 4, so we could get a top, relatively soon. And it could be the case where, if I go back to like the daily chart, right, like if this is going to be a bearish daily cycle, that it ends up being like a sort of double top kind of thing. So like, maybe we go down day 5, go up day 6, like something like that, right? And then we end up making a move lower. Of course, we'll have to see how the price action plays out. That's just a potential scenario. It's the broader market we need to watch for those real cues.